Hey guys, it's ArtisanTony. I just got back from the bush where I caught some of this. Okay, I'm just kidding. I didn't just get back from the bush. I actually just got back from the grocery store where I bought some asparagus, some roasted bell peppers, some sweet cherry peppers, some Greek peppers, some sun-dried tomatoes, and got some real tomatoes, some red onion, and some cheddar crust. I'm going to show you how to take this cheddar crust and make it good, and some fresh Parmesan. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is just cut off some of this asparagus. I just like the ends, so I'm going to take some of these off. I'm not going to take all of them. I'll just take some and save the rest. Okay, you just want to wash this asparagus off real good. You don't know what kind of cooties it got on it at the grocery store. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm trying to get this asparagus seared in a pan. I want to kind of pre-cook it before I put it on the pizza. I'm not going to cook the pizza that long, so I like my asparagus to be nice and soft. So I'm just going to take some olive oil, pour it in here, get that hot, and let those little asparagus critters start to soak that up and let them simmer for a while. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is get the crust ready, and I've just bought some of these thin crust, pizza crust from Pillsbury. I think you just whack them. Oh, crap. So what I'm going to do is take them out. There we go, that's the way it's supposed to work. I'm going to spread some of this Jiffy corn muffin mix on here and kind of integrate it into my dough for the pizza. What I'm going to do is just work that around. So let me get this pizza crust worked into this pan, and I'll show you what I'm going to do next. Okay, we got our dough in our pan, and what I'm going to do is just preheat it a little bit. One thing that always bugs me about pizza is that the sauce always seems to get integrated with the crust. So what I want to do is kind of get this to forming a little bit of a structural layer on top, and then when I put my sauce on there, it's not going to integrate with the dough as much. So we'll put this in the oven now for about, I guess about 10 minutes, and we'll see what it looks like after that. Okay, so while our crust is crusting, I'm going to prepare some onion here. I'll cut that bad stuff off and take this outer layer off. Again, we don't know what kind of cooties are in there, so. So what I'm looking for are these rings. That may seem like a waste, but this other stuff really isn't going to work out for my design. Okay, let me clean this up. We'll go to the next item. Okay, now my sauce. What I have are some just grape tomatoes. Open these up. And I have some sun-dried these tomatoes with Italian herbs. These are basically just tomato chunks with the spices. And what I'm going to do is crunch these up, and then we'll add this to sort of give it more of a liquid base. So what I'm going to do is just cut these up, and then this could take a while, so I need my sharp knife for this. Actually, I need one of those squisher things. Oopsie. Okay, let me get these squished up and I'll be right back. Okay, that's about as crushed as I want them. I like to have chunks of tomato in my pizza. I don't like just the sauce. So next what I'm going to do is open this little deal here, try to strain out. Let me try to strain out some of the juice first. Now we're getting someplace. Okay, now that is real tomato sauce, tomato paste. Okay, so now we're going to put this aside for a second and work on our next fine thing for our pizza. Okay, so next I've got my sweet cherry peppers. I'm just going to chop these up. Okay, let me get these cleaned up and I'll show you what's next. The other thing I have are just some roasted bell peppers, and these come in really big chunks, so I just want to take them down to a size where I can spread them out a little bit. Okay, now the fun part. We have a lot of our ingredients over here. We have the roasted red peppers, the cherry peppers, the onions. Back here I have my zucchini, my asparagus. And right here I have my tomato sauce, which is very chunky and lovely. So I'm just going to put it on there and spread it around. You can see this crust, this has a little bit of a crust to it already. That's, I pre-cooked it a little bit, so now I don't have to worry about these tomatoes oozing their way down into my pizza dough. This is a trick I wish more commercial pizza makers would take up. Okay, now what I want to do is put on my, I think I want to put all my other red components on here. These are the roasted red peppers. Next, I think what I want to do is put my onions on. And that's my red base and my white base. Now I'm going to put my green base on. Last but not least, I want to take my asparagus And I'm just letting that olive oil kind of drip where it may. Because olive oil is good for you. Isn't she beautiful? Let's see, the other thing I have are some Greek peppers, but I'm going to eat those cold on the side. I like to have some peppers that are just kind of room temperature to eat. So let's see how this puppy turns out. Got my oven on 425. Ooh, it's hot. Okay guys, she just came out of the oven. As you can see, that crust is nice and toasty brown. But one thing I like to do is test it, because sometimes, you know, these custom pizzas, you got a little thick crust here, a little thick crust there. What you can do is kind of cut it, and if it's not done the way you like it, just put it back in the oven. And I can tell right now that the middle is not done, so what I'm going to do is turn the temperature down and let it stay in there for a longer period to make sure this crust gets cooked. Alright, that is finished. With all that sauce, it takes a little longer to cook the dough in the middle, but it's done now. It's nice and crusty around the edges the way I like it. Doesn't that look just yummy? Now I know if you guys are like me and you're trying to lose weight, you can do without that cheese. And that's why you pour all those veggies in there to give it a lot of taste. But if you're like me and you just don't want to give up all your cheese taste, you can take some fresh Parmesan and just sprinkle it on there. So this will give it just that little bit of cheese flavor that you're missing by not having all that caked on cheese. So anyway guys, that's how I do my veggie pizza, and I think it's helping me lose weight. We'll find out in October, right? Thanks guys.